Hello students, welcome back to our session of current electricity. In the earlier classroom video, we have already studied about resistors connected in series and resistors connected in parallel. And today we are going for Wheatstone's network. What exactly Wheatstone's network is, that we can see in this frame that there are four resistors. I can say one is R1 here, then R2 is here, R3 and R4. These four resistors, they are connected to form four sides of a quadrilateral A, B, C, D, and these four resistors forming a quadrilateral, they are said to form a Wheatstone's network. Now what we do is, battery is connected across one of the diagonals AC here, and a galvanometer is connected across the other diagonal, and then this particular network is said to be your Wheatstone's bridge. Well, how is the bridge said to be balanced? That when battery is connected here in the circuit, the key is inserted, battery sends some current in the circuit, I can say I1 here, I2 here, something. In spite of battery sending current in the circuit, the current flowing through this galvanometer branch B to D, there is not supposed to be any current. This is known as balanced bridge condition. Now we'll see what exactly is balanced bridge condition. Here it says on the screen, the bridge is said to be balanced when there is no current through the galvanometer. That is, Ig is equal to 0 or Vb is equal to Vd. You understand this? The condition is achieved when the corresponding four resistors which we had shown in the previous diagram, the corresponding resistors must have same ratio. That is, R1 divided by R2 is equal to R3 by R4, or I can have this R3 shifted here, R2 on the other side, it's R1 upon R3 is equal to R2 upon R4. Well, how can I prove it, or how can I understand it? The logic of understanding the condition of a balanced bridge is very simple. I'll once again come back to the diagram, and I find that this, assuming that there is no galvanometer connected in this branch BD, I find that this ABC has got two resistors R1 and R2 connected in series. In this ADC branch, you have got two resistors R3 and R4, they are connected in series, so that whatever is the potential difference applied between A and C, that is divided by this upper resistors R1 and R2 in the ratio of R1 and R2. Similarly, the same potential difference applied between A and C is also divided in the ratio R3 is to R4 by these two. Now, if I want the potential to be same at point B and at point D, if I want to have the same potentials, it is possible only if whatever is the ratio of resistances of R1 and R2, the same ratio of resistances should be there for R3 and R4. Only in that particular case, the potential difference across R1 and R2 will be matching with the potential difference across R3 and R4, and in that case you will have your Wheatstone's network balanced. Well, mathematically what I can say is, I'll consider I to be the total current, out of which I1 current is going to flow through R1 in the upper branch, I minus I1 is going to flow through this lower branch, that is R3. If I see once again in my diagram, I'll find it something is going to look like this. Well, it is going to be here that I1 flows in the upper branch, I minus I1 flows in the lower branch. At point B, once this current I1 reaches, I consider Ig is some current flowing from B to D. Then the current flowing through this branch BC is going to be I1 minus Ig. This Ig comes here from B to D. I minus I1 is already coming from here, and the total current flowing through this branch is going to be R4 is going to be I minus I1 plus of Ig. This current becomes. The addition of these two will be, you see, total current I, because this I1 and minus I1 plus Ig and minus Ig will get cancelled. So that is how the currents are going to get distributed in the branch. Of course, ultimately I am going to consider this R3, Ig current to be equal to 0 finally in my equations. Now what I am going to try and do is, I will apply Kirchhoff's voltage law in this loop A, B, D, A once, and the same thing I am going to do in the other loop C, B, D, C. In this loop A, B, D, A, as I start moving, I find there is I1, R1. So resistance is there, potential difference will be here. Here I am considering G to be the resistance of a galvanometer. So by keeping this diagram in front of us, we will now go for the equations. Keep this diagram in mind. And then I understand that in this ABDA loop, the first thing which I was having was resistance R1, across which you have got minus I1 R1 minus IgG plus I minus I1 times of R3, that third resistors which we have. The sum of all these things is going to be equal to 0. Similarly, I can understand that though I am writing some Ig here, I actually know that for balanced bridge Ig is equal to 0. So I put it, and my equation comes out to be like this: minus I1 R1 plus I minus I1 into R3, because this term is going to become 0 now, is equal to 0. So you have I1 R1 is equal to I minus I1 into R3. That's equation number 2. What I do is, now I once again apply similarly Kirchhoff's voltage law in the other loop, and it gives me the other equation, which of course you can try on your own, and it will give me the other equation once again as this I1 R2 is equal to I minus I1 into R4. You divide these two equations, equation 2 and equation 3, and I will find that R1 divided by R2 is equal to R3 upon R4, or R1 upon R3 is equal to R2 by R4. So this is that equation which I needed, and which I call it as the balanced bridge condition. So as I can see here, it says the equation is balanced bridge condition. Of course, this equation can be proved by using Ohm's law. Its logical consideration also we have already said. Whereas in this equation number 4 which I see, you can see there is no term of what is the potential difference V applied. There is no question of rheostat resistance. So I will understand that the balanced bridge condition depends only on the 4 resistors in the network. It is independent of the battery EMF or even the resistance of rheostat, and the balanced bridge condition remains unaffected even if battery and galvanometer positions are interchanged. That instead of galvanometer if I connect a battery, and instead of battery if I connect a galvanometer, the balanced bridge condition is still not going to get changed, because the ratio will always remain same in that particular case. So what I further say is that if at all out of those 4 resistors, if 3 resistors are known, you can actually calculate what is the value of the remaining resistance, and by using the same technique we can try and find out the unknown resistance by using an apparatus that is called meter bridge, which we will see in our next you can say video. So I guess you all must have enjoyed this video, and what specially I would like to mention is that the efforts for this particular video, they are taken by our students, that they have made all these kinds of presentations, and it is their contribution to make the soft material for this. You all just can have a look at this Wheatstone's network again, and every time keep in mind that in this case the balanced bridge condition for any type of a Wheatstone's network is in such a way that the corresponding resistances, they must have equal ratio, that R1 divided by R3 is equal to R2 divided by R4, or this upon this is equal to this upon this. That is what is supposed to be your balanced bridge condition. Well, thank you very much.